Welcome back to the deep dive, where we cut through the noise to get straight to the insights.
Great to be here.
Now, we often talk about the well-trodden paths to financial freedom.
hmm The usual suspects.
Right, diligently budgeting, aggressively saving, making smart investments, all those essential kind of tried and true methods.
Absolutely. Foundational stuff.
But what if the most powerful, maybe the most transformative tool in your financial arsenal isn't found in like a stock market app or some new side hustle
Okay.
or even another seminar? What if it's actually, well, a plane ticket?
A plane ticket. Interesting angle.
Today we're casting our net pretty wide, exploring a concept we're calling financial exile.
Financial exile sounds dramatic.
It does, but let's be absolutely crystal clear right from the start. This isn't about running from your problems, not at all.
Okay. Important distinction.
It's about strategically, intentionally moving towards a potentially monumental solution.
Right. Proactive, not reactive.
Exactly. We're talking about the economics of taking your existing higher earning skills, the ones you've maybe spent years honing.
Your professional capital.
Precisely. And deliberately setting up your life in a country with a significantly, sometimes honestly, shockingly lower cost of living.
Geographic arbitrage.
The goal: to dramatically accelerate your wealth building in ways you might not have even thought possible before.
So turbocharging the savings rate, essentially.
Totally. We're going to dissect not just the remarkable financial gains this strategy can offer,
The upside.
but crucially, the very real human costs and trade-offs involved. Because there definitely are some.
Always are with big changes.
You're probably already thinking, could I really do that? What would it even look
I
like?
bet a lot of listeners are.
Well, let's dive in and explore exactly that.
Let's do it.
Okay, so let's unpack this core idea. Because it's elegantly simple in concept, yet incredibly potent in practice.
The simplicity that's on.
It's about leveraging your professional income, which is often benchmarked to a high-cost economy, let's say, a typical U.S. or Western European salary.
Right, where the big paychecks often are.
But then positioning yourself, geographically, in a location where your daily expenses are just fundamentally lower. Dramatically lower.
So earning dollars, spending pesos or baht or euros in a cheaper region.
Exactly. Imagine a senior software engineer who's still pulling in that top-tier Silicon Valley or, say, London salary.
Okay.
But instead of navigating the crazy rents and the daily grind of those cities, they're living it up in Lisbon, Portugal.
Nice climate, lower costs. I see it.
Or picture a highly skilled freelance graphic designer earning competitive UK rates, but doing it from a charming, quiet town in Southeast Asia, maybe Thailand, maybe Vietnam.
Bringing in London money, spending Chiang Mai money.
Precisely. The income potential stays high, stays robust, but the outgoing expenses for literally everything, rent, food, transport, are utterly transformed.
It's a complete paradigm shift in your personal finances.
It creates this extraordinary phenomenon, this financial arbitrage, that can basically redraw your entire financial timeline.
And what's truly fascinating here, the real crux of the strategy, is exactly that arbitrage, that gap. You're essentially creating this colossal differential between your income tied to that high-value labor market
Right.
and your expenditures, which are now aligned with a much, much lower cost economy.
It's not just clipping coupons.
No, this isn't just trimming a few bucks here and there. It's fundamentally altering the intrinsic value of every single dollar or pound or euro you earn.
How so?
Well, your purchasing power isn't merely enhanced, it's radically amplified just by making that geographic shift.
Purely location-based leverage.
Exactly. It's an incredibly powerful financial lever because it changes the very bedrock, the foundation of your financial life.
And the impact of that amplification, I mean, when you actually crunch the numbers, it can be absolutely staggering.
The math is compelling.
Consider a salary that maybe in a place like San Francisco or New York just barely keeps your head above water, right?
The paycheck-to-paycheck reality for many even high earners.
You're constantly scrutinizing every expense, feeling that pinch of the crazy rent, the high cost of just living.
Yeah, the background financial stress.
Now, take that exact same salary, no raise, nothing different income-wise.
Right.
And suddenly you could find yourself living a life of, well, remarkable comfort, maybe even what feels like luxury, in a vibrant city like Medellin, Colombia, or maybe a coastal town in Mexico.
Wow, yeah. That same number buys A very different lifestyle.
It's really not an exaggeration to say it's a complete lifestyle transformation purely because of the geography you choose.
Going from stretched to abundant almost overnight.
Almost overnight. It's wild.
Exactly. And we're talking about very concrete, very quantifiable financial impacts here, not just feelings.
Like what specifically?
Well, consider your monthly rent. For most people, that's the single biggest line item, right?
For sure. Biggest chunk.
We've seen examples, and the source material backs this up, where that cost could drop by dramatic 70%.
70%. That's huge. So if you're paying, what, $2,500 in a big Western city?
A modest place, yeah. Imagine that dropping to $750 for something comparable, maybe even bigger or nicer, in a desirable international spot.
Wow. That's $7,750 just poof, back in your pocket every single month.
Every single month. And it's not just housing. Your food costs, transport, entertainment, they could all plummet, significantly cutting your overall burn rate.
So the baseline cost of just existing drops dramatically.
Precisely. And for those who love to travel, that previously tight budget for exploring could suddenly expand, maybe tenfold.
Tenfold. So weekend trips become normal.
You could be doing spontaneous weekend getaways to neighboring countries you could only dream of before. It just opens up the map.
Okay, so all of that money, the rent savings, the cheaper groceries, the daily coffees you're not buying at inflated prices.
Yeah, all those savings piling up.
It's not just extra cash sitting there, is it? It's not just more money.
No, it's much more potent than that. Think of it as high-octane fuel for your financial engine.
Fuel? How so?
It's capital. Serious capital you can aggressively pour into high-yield investments or building significant passive income streams.
Or just smashing debt super fast.
Or paying down debt at an absolutely incredible pace, yeah. This isn't just about nudging your savings rate up a few points.
It's bigger than that.
It's about igniting a compounding effect that can utterly transform your entire financial journey. That's like putting a supercharger on your wealth building.
A supercharger. I like that analogy.
It truly is. And this leads us to think about a crucial implication. What does this kind of acceleration actually mean for your wealth building timeline?
Right. How much faster are we talking?
Well, the source material, and honestly, countless real-world examples, suggest this isn't about shaving off, a year or two from your path to FI.
Financial independence, yeah.
We're potentially talking about compressing a, say, 15-year wealth building plan
15 years.
into a 5-year one.
15 down to 5. That's incredible.
It is. That's a decade. 10 full years you could potentially reclaim on your path to financial freedom.
A whole decade of your life back, essentially?
This kind of timeline compression doesn't happen through small, incremental gains. It's the direct result of a fundamental, almost radical shift in your financial equation.
Where the geography does the heavy lifting.
Where the geographical arbitrage becomes the dominant transformative factor in your savings and investment rate, it changes the whole game.
That timeline compression, though, 15 years to 5, it sounds almost too good to be true, doesn't it?
It does sound extreme, I agree.
From your perspective, looking at this, what's the biggest factor that dictates whether someone actually hits that 5-year timeline versus, say, taking 8 or 10 years, even with the location advantage?
Yeah, that's a really insightful question.
Is it just pure discipline, or are there other, maybe hidden variables at play?
It's definitely not purely linear, and while discipline is absolutely crucial, paramount even.
You got to stick to the plan.
You do. But often the most significant differentiating factor boils down to adaptability and critically strategic planning specific to that new environment.
Adaptability. Okay. How so?
Well, someone who rigorously researches visa options before they go, who understands the local tax implications up front.
Does their homework?
Exactly. And crucially, avoids lifestyle creep. The tendency to just spend more because things are cheaper.
Right. Letting expenses inflate to meet the savings.
Those individuals who manage that, they'll see far more dramatic, faster results, closer to that 5-year mark.
And the others?
Others might get bogged down in bureaucratic delays, struggle to integrate or find a community, or simply end up spending more on imported comforts or frequent trips home, which eats into those potential savings.
So the human element is key.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The numbers offer incredible potential, but the human element of execution, of adapting and staying focused, is critical to realizing that potential fully.
Okay. So here's where it gets really interesting, though. Because as tempting and, frankly, exciting as those financial prospects are shaving a decade off your plan,
It's very appealing.
we have to acknowledge it's not all sunshine and incredibly cheap rent. That would be misleading.
Reality check time.
Totally. While the math might look irresistible on a spreadsheet, there are some very real, substantial challenges that come with this financial exile strategy.
No free lunch, as they say.
Exactly. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
This isn't for everyone. It really isn't. It demands a specific kind of person.
What kind?
Someone with, I think, a significant amount of courage just to make the leap. Incredible adaptability and flexibility.
You mentioned adaptability being key.
And a whole lot of meticulous planning. You can't just wing this.
Definitely not a spur-of-the-moment decision.
It's a life-altering choice, not just, a casual change of address.
A fundamental life shift.
So before we get totally carried away by the savings, let's talk about the unexciting bits. The friction.
The hurdles.
Yeah. I'm talking about paperwork so mind-numbing, it could potentially cure insomnia sometimes.
Huh. Yes, if we consider the full landscape, the practical realities often lie just beneath the surface of that financial allure.
Like the bureaucracy.
Oh, absolutely. Navigating the bureaucratic hurdles alone can be a monumental task. We're talking visas, residency permits.
Which type even applies? Digital nomad? Retirement?
Exactly. Is it a digital nomad visa, a retirement visa, some sort of investment visa, or something else entirely? Each has its own rules, its own hoops to jump through.
And taxes. Oh, God, taxes.
Don't get me started. Understanding and complying with complex international tax laws, figuring out where you owe how much, avoiding double taxation. It's often incredibly complex.
Requires professional help, probably.
Well, often, yes. And think about the documentation needing certified translations for everything, multiple trips to different government offices, enduring processes that can drag on for months.
Sounds exhausting just thinking about it.
It can quickly become a bureaucratic nightmare if you're not prepared with meticulous planning and, honestly, an almost saint-like level of patience.
Okay, so bureaucracy is one big hurdle. What else?
Then there are the day-to-day work challenges. If your high-earning skill is tied to clients or a company back home.
Which it often is for this to work.
Right. The time difference can turn working effectively into a constant logistical puzzle.
Yeah, those late-night or early morning calls.
It impacts collaboration, responsiveness, even your own sleep schedule.
Yeah.
Imagine trying to consistently hit deadlines when your team or clients are just waking up as you're trying to wind down.
That requires serious discipline and structure.
It really does. It adds another layer of complexity to your workday.
That sounds like a potential minefield of headaches, honestly. The visas, the taxes, the time zones.
It can be.
Do you think these practical hurdles are significant enough that for some people they might just outweigh the financial benefits?
Oh, for some, absolutely. It really depends on an individual's tolerance for complexity and, frankly, uncertainty.
Your personal pain threshold for paperwork?
Pretty much. The financial upside is undeniable. It's real. But if the constant friction of bureaucracy or the daily strain of working across tricky time zones creates an unbearable amount of stress, then those monetary gains might not actually translate into a higher quality of life. You might have more money but feel worse.
That's a crucial point. It's not just about the bank balance.
Exactly. It comes down to a very personal calculus.
Yeah.
How much of your time, energy, and peace of mind are you willing to trade for that accelerated financial freedom?
And the answer varies hugely.
Hugely. For some, the trade-off is absolutely worth it. For others, it's simply too high a price to pay.
And beyond all those practicalities, which are substantial, we haven't even touched on the emotional side yet.
Yes, the human cost.
Which is arguably the most significant piece for many people. Think about it. The profound loneliness of being thousands of miles away from your core people, your family, your closest friends.
That built-in support system.
Gone overnight. Then there's the inevitable culture shock as you try to adapt to a completely new way of life. Different social norms, different daily rhythms, different underlying values sometimes.
Things you take for granted back home.
Totally. And of course, if you move somewhere you don't speak the language fluently, the language barrier, that can make even simple daily tasks feel incredibly isolating and frustrating.
Ordering coffee becomes a challenge.
Exactly. These aren't minor inconveniences you can just sort of shrug off. These are deep personal sacrifices that can really chip away at your sense of belonging, your comfort zone.
They require significant emotional energy to navigate.
It's a stark reminder, isn't it? You literally cannot put a price tag on a casual Sunday dinner with your parents.
No spreadsheet captures that value.
Or those easy, impromptu coffee chats with your best friend who just gets you without needing a whole backstory.
Those effortless connections.
Those intangible things, that feeling of being rooted, understood. They're incredibly valuable, and their absence can be a really heavy toll.
It absolutely can. The psychological and emotional cost is often underestimated when people focus solely on the financial spreadsheet.
They see the 70% rent reduction and forget the rest.
Sometimes, beyond the initial excitement, the honeymoon phase, many people experience waves of homesickness, real anxiety from constant cultural misunderstandings, maybe a deep sense of isolation, until and if they manage to build a new, genuine support network.
Which takes time and effort.
A lot of time and effort. And it forces a kind of reevaluation of your own identity, too. Who are you when all your usual social cues and connections are stripped away?
That's a deep question.
It is. Some people thrive on that challenge. They find a new, maybe stronger sense of self. Others find it deeply unsettling, destabilizing even.
So the potential for personal growth is there, but so is the potential for struggle.
Precisely. So while the financial spreadsheets can look dazzling, the human heart needs to be ready for an equally profound and sometimes quite difficult adjustment.
That really puts the human cost into perspective.
So as you weigh all of this, the huge financial upside, the significant practical and emotional hurdles, a critical question emerges for each individual listener, really.
It is.
Is financial exile the right move for you? Because this strategy fundamentally depends on your personal trade-offs, your unique situation.
It's not one size fits all.
Not even close.
Yeah.
It forces a very deep reevaluation of your priorities. It pushes you to define with absolute clarity what's truly valuable in your life.
What you're optimizing for.
Exactly. Is it optimizing every single dollar for accelerated future freedom? Even if that means sacrificing immediate comfort, social connections, family proximity right now.
The present versus the future.
Or is it about maintaining those cherished elements of your current life, the community, the familiarity, the ease, accepting a potentially slower, maybe longer path to financial independence?
No easy answer there.
There's no universal right or wrong answer at all. It's an intensely personal equation that each of us has to solve for ourselves based on our own values and circumstances.
Absolutely. It really forces you to ask that fundamental question about the future you want. What truly defines it? Is it about your physical location, the specific place you currently call home, with all its familiar comforts and those ingrained social connections?
The roots you have down.
Or is it more about the expansive freedom that wealth can eventually buy? The ability to make choices purely on your own terms, to pursue passions without financial constraint, to live life authentically.
Regardless of the starting point of that journey.
Right, regardless of where that journey initially starts. So while financial exile is, without a doubt, a powerful financial lever, offering potentially unparalleled acceleration,
The potent tool.
it absolutely demands that you look far beyond just the numbers on the spreadsheet. You have to genuinely consider the holistic kind of life you're truly striving to build.
The bigger picture.
The whole picture. So we've taken a pretty deep dive today into this dual nature of financial exile.
Definitely two sides to the coin.
Yeah, the incredible financial potential it offers, that chance to dramatically accelerate your wealth
And
building,
timeline compression.
balanced against the very significant personal, emotional, and practical challenges that inevitably come with such a bold, such a transformative move.
That's a major undertaking.
It really is. It's a strategy that ultimately forces all of us, whether we'd ever do it or not, just to pause and truly consider our own priorities, our values,
What we really want.
and what we cherish most in life.
Indeed. What stands out to me reflecting on this is that it's a profound thought experiment in itself, even if you never actually book that flight.
How so?
Well, it challenges that deeply ingrained assumption that wealth building must always happen within the confines of our existing location, our existing lifestyle.
That this is the only way.
Right, without even questioning if there might be other, perhaps more powerful levers available if we're willing to think outside the geographical box.
It forces you to question the defaults.
Exactly. It opens up a new frontier of thinking about what truly defines home and what defines opportunity in the modern world.
That's a truly powerful thought to ponder. What does home mean, and how flexible are we willing to be to reach our goals?
Food for thought.
Maybe, just maybe, the path to your financial freedom is just an international flight away. Join us next time as we dive even deeper into this very topic.
Oh, what's next?
We'll actually hear from someone who has done it, embraced financial exile, sharing their firsthand experiences, the highs, and yes, the very real lows. You won't want to miss it.